yeah. Go. Amazing. That's my boy.
He breaks away from a sack and completes the pass for first down.
Oh, Kittle just may have made the most amazing catch.
He fights for the first down and gets out of bounds too.
It's no good. Overtime. Oh, what a catch. How do you drop that? What are you, Jamal Adams? Touchdown.
This is a touchdown all the way.
He reached over the pylon. San Francisco beat Cincinnati. Hello, welcome. We have big news today, so I couldn't stay away. Big news. Our starting quarterback is still hurt, so we're bringing up our backup quarterback. But here's the really cool thing. Our backup quarterback is not really a backup quarterback, is he? He kind of isn't. I mean, he was our second overall pick. I know we had some trouble. We try to get him right. We're fixing him. We're getting him right. I mean, technically, it's Zach Wilson. And if you go back to the week 1 of the year, there's nobody we want more in starting every game, riding the season with, than Zach Wilson. So should we be upset? Does this hurt our chances of winning? We're going to find out, and I'm going to bring in our expertise. He's an expert. He's an analyst that you're going to be so excited to. You're going to be so excited to see this dude. He's the last person you're going to expect to see. The last person you're going to see. But let's bring this expert in, a guy who just knows all, Lee Kravats. And let me get rid of this. Yeah, we're going to get rid of this guy forever. Let's hide this user from channel. There we go. He's gone. Okay. We just had to get rid of someone. Thank you very much. So, Lee, here we are.
How you doing, buddy?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
So, look, that was the last thing I expected.
It was crazy. It's crazy.
Last thing I expected, right? I'm trying to find out if Q Williams is going to play. Like a million other things that I'm thinking about, like what's going on, what are we going to do? And suddenly he just drops a bomb on us.
Look, I talked to you yesterday before this happened, and I said that I was excited that White was playing and that he was back and he was stepping up. And you said, Lee, it's the ribs, buddy. One hit and he's out, and in comes Zach. So we're going to see Zach. Yeah. And I was like, well, the guy's so tough. But you were right. I mean, he got the one hit. The one extra hit was the second time he went out. And that pretty much, we didn't know it, but that finished him, man. That finished him.
Yeah. And, I had a feeling Zach would get another chance. As bad as Zach has played, and everybody knows my story about that, how disappointed I was and how he played. And I'm still disappointed on how it's gone. It's not like I'm happy about how it's gone. I mean, it was like kind of my worst case scenario. Like this was my nightmare that Zach would play this terribly. But part of me, obviously, deep down, and I've been saying it, like that doesn't want to fully accept it. I've learned to accept, like I came in phases. For a long time, I refused to believe that Zach was playing bad. I was making every excuse in the book. It's the offensive line. It's this. It's that. It
was some of those things, and they were winning. Come on,
right?
It was some of those
things. But then the New England game happened, and I kind of just it opened up my eyes, and I kind of said, okay, there's no denying it anymore. He's not playing well. He's not doing well, and this is not what we want to see from the guy we picked second overall, in the draft. But now he's coming back, right? And I had a feeling we'd see him again. I told you, I said, I don't know about a rib injury, man. The first time he gets tackled, it hurts more the next week. It hurts more.
Yeah.
It really does hurt more the next week. It's like when you've got the adrenaline going in a game, you could be in all this pain. You keep going. But then when you give it time to settle in, oh my God, the pain.
Well, yeah, right? But there's another thing. I mean, it was hinted at a little bit. How much incentive does Mike White have to come back regardless of the pain? I mean, we're talking crazy millions of dollars if he comes back and has a good game. I mean, because even if the Jets can't pay him, another team is going to pay him, right? So he has a lot of zeros bringing him back. And the guy is a trooper. There's no doubt. I mean, I love the guy. I really think he's a good QB. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, and the problem is, I mean, I think anybody with a brain. Okay, there are some people out there that I don't know what's wrong with them, but in a serious adult conversation,
Yeah.
we know that Mike White is better than Zach Wilson right now, or has played better than him. Those 3 games, I don't care about record wins or losses.
Well,
anybody that has a brain, anybody that's ever watched football, knows that Mike White played in those 3 games much better than Zach has ever played.
yeah, I mean, in defense of Zach, and by the way, I would prefer to see Mike White in there. I assume we'll get to that. We'll talk about Sunday.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to see White starting in that game. But Zach has had moments where he looked like a very good quarterback. I mean, I still see it in my head where a broken play, he waved someone to go deep. He hauled it, a great pass for a touchdown, big, deep bomb. I mean, I've seen some things about him that make me feel like, and we've overused this term, but that he has a very high ceiling. If he can get his act together, he could do a lot for us. And no one's saying that about Mike White, although I don't know that he doesn't have a big ceiling, but I understand he doesn't have the mobility skills. He doesn't have the arms. So he's never going to be what Zach could be. But if we're comparing Zach's most recent play to Mike White's, you got to go with White. Now, one thing, Saleh has seen Zach in practice, and none of us have.
Yeah, look, they're saying he looked good in practice. So I'm kind of it's weird. If we just had one of the 2 quarterbacks, let's say Mike White was our quarterback and there was no Zach Wilson and Joe Flacco was our quarterback, I'd be devastated. We need this win. Oh my God, we have to go with Joe Flacco. We're dead. It feels different. It feels different because part of me, as much as I know that Mike White's the better guy right now and gives us the best chance to win, I also know that for the organization, it's so much more valuable for Zach to be the guy. Like, it would be so much better for the Jets. It's not like, because some people say, what's the difference? The difference is if one of them could be a star. The difference is for Zach Wilson, we own him for 3 more years, controlled money, and our plan doesn't get screwed up because Joe Douglas has a financial plan.
Absolutely.
If Mike White is the better quarterback moving forward, and he ends up being the guy, the problem is he's a free agent, as you know, and we'll have to pay him, which totally throws off our plan. So it's better for the Jets if Zach is the guy. So part of me, as much as I want to make the playoffs, as much as I want the better player to be in, at least the better player right now, part of me is excited that Zach is going to get this opportunity, because if he capitalizes on it, if he plays fantastic, there's hope again that he could be the guy. He's getting another chance, and I didn't know he was going to get another chance this year. I thought there's a very good chance that Zach Wilson would not take another snap this year.
Well, if Mike White did not get hurt and the Jets were in the playoff hunt, and because of Mike White, there's no way that they would lasso White out of the game, give the football to Zach. But I'll tell you what confused me. I mentioned this in the video that we released this morning, and that is Saleh said, "Oh yeah, next Thursday, if White makes progress, we'll see Mike White." I'm like, what? Because now it's kind of a very confusing message to everybody, right? Even to the quarterbacks themselves, because certainly, what he's saying is Mike White's the number 1. He's hurt, and the number two is coming in, and if the number 1 can play again 4 days afterwards, he's going to. But part of me thinks, no way. If Zach plays well, I'm just saying based on what he said, but to me, if Zach plays well,
right,
there's no way. How can he pull Zach? But I think another good thing about saying it the way he did is it sends Zach a message that you better friggin' play well or you're getting yanked. In other words, I don't think he wants to take the pressure off of Zach.
Right. And we didn't bring you in here. This isn't us realizing we missed you and we need you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is you're in here only because he's hurt, and now you're getting an opportunity. But I think it's bullshit in the sense that, first of all, even if he can go technically, Mike White, I think if Zach plays like crap and Mike White can go, he'll go. If Zach puts up 3 touchdowns, 300 plus yards, and has a great game, He's not going to all of a sudden switch back
How
to
many
Mike White.
how many
Because
times
Mike
has he
White's not
done
gonna
that?
no, barely ever. So I'm saying if he was to do that, because Mike White, he's not going to go back to Mike White, who's not 100%. And then if he doesn't go back to Mike White, and then Zach comes in on Thursday night and puts up another 250 plus or a great game, and we win again, and Zach again has a great game. Let's say Zach has two of his best games of his career. Let's say he does.
Let's say.
Let's say he does it.
Yeah.
He has two amazing games. One, he goes over 300 yards. One, he goes over 250. Let's say he throws 5 touchdowns in the 2 games combined. Let's say he just goes off. Let's say he tears these teams apart and he looks great.
Right.
They are not benching him against Seattle because he's the future. There's no way they're not going to say we have to stick with Zach, right?
I've got 2 hats on, right? There's realistic football fan hat, and there's chaos crazy Jets hat. Now, when I put on the Jets hat, I sound a lot like you just sounded. We can have a great game, we'll win, and Zach will do it. We'll have Zach back, and I totally get that. But my football fan hat says you generally judge quarterbacks by the past performance. You know, the guy, he just had problems with his lower body. Can he really fix it in 3 weeks? Can he come back in pretty cold and, you know, in front of a Jets fan base that's going to be kind of have different opinions and how they get all that pressure is going to be on him? I mean, can he really do that? The normal football fan says the odds are highly against that. And by the way, as a Jets fan, that makes when I talk to that football fan, the Jets fan in me gets sad because I really want to be in the playoffs, man. I really want to be in the playoffs.
But to me, the perfect story, the dream story, is that that this worked, that benching him worked.
Yeah.
And that we see the Zach that I dreamed he could be.
But that's why it's the Jets hat you're wearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you say that.
But I would love him to be the Zach that I dreamed him to be, not because I'm stuck on Zach or I have anything against Mike White. It's because I know it's better for the Jets.
It's definitely better. You explained it. You explained it.
Yeah.
We have him salary controlled for years. He has a higher ceiling. I mean, him panning out would be the best thing for the Jets organization because then we could afford other players. I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons why if you could have a potential low-paid, really good quarterback getting better and better, that's the way you want to go. I'm just giving you a realistic take on it, not to upset you. If you weren't a Jets fan, you'd be looking at yourself and saying, that's never going to happen.
Obviously, I mean, you might feel that way, but I am somebody who watched him every college game he's ever played, every snap he's ever played. I think about those plays he made against Tennessee. I think about the run against Jacksonville. Like I remember certain passes that he made.
Me too.
That only 1 or 2, 3 guys in the NFL could make, and that sticks with me because I
know
know
crazy is Saleh referenced his college when he had that bowl game where he had the 18.
Yeah,
he referenced that instead of like something more recent. I know
that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah,
but
I mean, we want the same thing, Jeremy. We want the same thing. I don't want to see the year slip away. I don't want to see us out of this playoff hunt because it's friggin' exciting, and it's been a long time since I've gotten to be excited about the Jets in January, baby. I mean, December's been awesome, but wouldn't it be great?
Yeah. But now here's the hard part. Here's the hard part. The other side of the coin. If Zach comes in against Detroit, right? One of the weakest defenses in stopping the pass.
They're a 30-point defense.
Right. If he comes in against Detroit and Garrett Wilson sees 2 touches, Elijah sees a touch, like if he plays like he did against New England or even against Green Bay and Denver, if he plays a game where our receivers don't even touch the ball, where we have Elijah Moore just worthless with a big 0 on him, right? And we have Garrett Wilson only getting a couple of touches. If that happens and he only gets 130, 150 yards against Detroit and he puts up a stinker, right? Maybe he throws a pick or something like that. I don't know, honestly, and I'm saying it right now. Am I being unreasonable to say that there's got to be a straw that breaks the camel's back? Like there's got to be a point where you're allowed as a fan to say, That's my limit. Where's the limit be until you say it's not going to happen? He's not the guy.
Well, fans can say,
close the door. I'm saying shut the window and say not the guy.
even if the coaching staff shuts, the fans can't shut a door. They can just shut their own door. But
Right.
yeah, the coaching staff, even if in their minds they're shutting the door, I've seen more adultism out of Saleh than that. I mean, there's a lot of business reasons, but you never want to say I'm shutting the door on this player. First of all, they might revenge you from other teams. Second of all, you're killing any trade value that they may had. Third of all, you're ensuring they're going to suck because you just made them doubt themselves in a deep, deep way as their coach.
Well, I'm not going to say he's going to come out and say I'm shutting the door on any hope that Zach Wilson could be a good quarterback. I'm saying as a fan, would it be unreasonable for me to declare and say, hey guys, I give up. Like he couldn't do it against Detroit. He threw him against New England. He had chances. I don't care if it's only his 24th game. I'm done. Because I've never seen an NFL quarterback.
He might say that in his head. He's just not going to say it to us. What he's going to say to us is...
Not him, me. I'm saying if I say it, am I crazy to say it?
Are you crazy to say it? Oh, boy. I think that you have a right to say anything you want, and no, you would not be crazy to say it. I would always maintain hope of trade value. Like, I would want somehow... like them to prop the guy up in one game, just so they could get something from him in a trade. And we're talking a lot of negative stuff, but I just want to go, anybody that tuned in the last, 3-4 minutes, I want him to do amazing.
Of course, yeah.
I want him to do amazing.
Make sure everybody knows if you're just joining us.
Yeah.
If you're a Jets fan, you want him to do amazing, and you got to be out of your minds. You can't. Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't understand. I can't call anybody a Jet fan if they are rooting for Zach to fail, because how is that a fan? Like, obviously, you have to root for him to succeed if you're a Jets fan, because we want the Jets to win.
Yeah, and yes, if I had to prefer either White or Zach to do great, I want it to be Zach, because Zach, I have a contract on. I own Zach for some number of years.
Yeah,
I have no ownership over Mike White.
Right.
I don't get to have any preferred standing in signing him. It's just a loaner for now. Of course, I want him to do amazing if he's in the game, and I really like the guy. I love the interviews with him. He's a stand-up dude, man, and the players love him. But it's harder for us to build a team around White for those economic reasons and contractual reasons, even if he was outstanding. And so if I had a choice, I've got to go with Zach to be the one who's amazing, but I love White. I would love to have a problem, actually, where both of them could, captain this team and take them down the field every time. But I'm still nervous because Mike White was the first Jet quarterback this season to score a touchdown on the opening drive, even though he came in late in the season. He was the first to break, his first game back. I know it was against the Bears, but still he had the highest quarterback rating of any quarterback, any game this season. I mean, the guy crushed it. And Zach never does numbers like that. Oh, I'm so nervous about Sunday, buddy.
So you know why I'm not nervous at this point? I mean, I might be a little jittery on Sunday, but I kind of feel like I get to this point where I'm like, well, you know what? If we don't win and we don't beat Detroit, then we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. We'll be 7-7. We're not winning the games. We can't step up and win a big game at home to put ourselves in good position. We simply don't deserve it. And then it's going to just be obvious. Okay, we're much improved, much better than last year, but we're not a playoff team. And we just, you have to kind of just accept it. I mean, it is what it is. There's still a chance they win the last three. They could lose and win the last three. It could happen. But I mean, if it is what it is. I mean, we're probably going to have to win 3 out of 4 games and, to have a chance at the playoffs. And it is what it is. If we can't do it, then we're not a playoff team. It's just that simple.
I might show, I didn't play football in high school, but, as an adult, I played a lot of volleyball. That's going to make me sound like a nerd. But I played a lot of volleyball out in California. And
you've also played ping pong, haven't you?
I did play competitive ping pong, table tennis. But in volleyball, like sometimes I'd be in the huddle with my team, and we once I remember specifically we were in 5th place, but the bottom 2 teams, 4th and 5th, played each other to see who would play the 1st place team, and we were down, and one of the guys in the huddle, said, "Hey, at least we made it this far." Because we were in this advanced league with only really great teams, and we didn't consider us. And I said, "That's bullshit. You don't say at least we made it this far until it's over. Afterwards, you could say, hey, we had a great season. No one expected us to do that. But when you're in the moment, it's not far enough until you win the Super Bowl. And I'm going to tell you what happened in that thing, okay? We beat the 1st place team. We beat the 5th place team. Even though we were down, we came back. We beat the 1st place team. And then we played the 2nd place team, and we beat them, and we took the big trophy home, baby. But we refused to say at least we got this far. So I don't want any. I'm never going to say that until it's all over, which it won't be.
Yep. And just to squeeze it in now, I'm going to say hello to some people in the chat. Just to let you know, we see you, Snowball. I see you. Grandizer is doing his thing, man, pushing the channel. Pure Adrenaline Sports. That's John Post, a good friend of mine. I'll be on his show tomorrow morning. It's noon Eastern, or 12 o'clock noon on the Eastern time, and I will be on his show doing stuff like talking fantasy football. Twisted is in here. What's up? Some guy is here, a good friend of the channel. And yeah, by the way, everybody knows my brother Lee, but like he call him Double Chaos. Twisted is here. What's going on, Twisted? Good to see you, my friend. Rendilla is here, and NC V-Man. So we have another North Carolina dude. He knows about the Raleigh-Durham area. He can go visit our parents if they need help and they need another adult. VC Man, NCV Man, I know volunteered that he'd go help our parents. Anthony G is here. Joe Buddha's here. You got to love Joe Buddha. Joe Buddha, be good to me, Joe Buddha. Carlos A, it's good to see you again, brother. I'm so happy you're here. Eric Craig is here. Snowball's here. Eric Craig. Sean McAteer. I don't know if you know about the McAteers, Lee. There's an old legend that the Temecula Valley in Temecula, a place you know very well.
I know. Well, I drink a lot of wine from Temecula.
Well, the reason you're able to go and drink wine at Temecula, the reason why you've been able to safely go there is because Temecula Valley is actually guarded by the 3 McAteers. And Sean is one of the McAteers that protect the Temecula Valley.
Thank you, Sean.
So, thank you, Sean. We appreciate what you do.
I've gotten messed up on a lot of wine in my time.
Sherb is in the house. What's going on, Sherb? Good to see you. And James Thompson is here. We got so many people here. Tony Alexio. I'm his favorite dum-dum, so that's good. He calls everybody dum-dum, but I'm his favorite one.
Dum-dum. Hey, I went to the Museum of Natural History last week.
Do that again.
And I saw Dum-Dum.
You did?
Dum-dum. You're a dum-dum.
Joe Campione is here. Infrared is here. I love all you guys for all your support. Thank you. We got Minnesota Jet fan here today, which is cool on a Friday night. So just wanted to say hello to everybody. Said hello to most people. So now let's get to other business. So we talked about why we want Zach to succeed.
What? Other business? Okay.
No. Other business was Zach. I mean, but
back to business.
There's a game on Sunday. On Sunday.
Hey, I saw an interview with Zach. I don't know if you saw this.
I didn't.
Oh, my God. He looked happier. He looked naturally happy for the first time I've ever seen him. He's like, yeah, I found out, and I can't wait to play. I'm totally ready. It was like Jolly Zach. Zipped up Zach, baby.
I'll tell you a story. There was a time at BYU, Zach was banged up. He was hurt. He didn't get to play a lot. His junior year, he didn't play as well. And coming into his senior year, they did not vote him captain because they didn't know if he was going to be the starting quarterback even. And his response to that was the best year of his life, and just one of the most incredible years you'd ever see in college football from a quarterback. He has responded well to being dissed or being written off, and it's going to be interesting to see. He's happy to go when he comes in against Detroit. That's why there's a part of me that thinks there's this hope. I'm holding on to this hope that Zach might come back and he might light it up.
That's one of the reasons that I think Saleh, and I certainly personally think, talked about Mike White starting on Thursday if he is able, because he's already treated Zach like it's always going to be you, Zachy boy. I love you. You're number one. We're always going to use Zach. He's our starting quarterback, no matter what he does. And I think that he decided to change tactics, right? To wake up Zach, right? Like the new tactic is you are not going to be the guy if you can't show that you're the better quarterback. Look, again, I'm going to go back. I think White right now, from what I've seen, is the better quarterback right now, but it doesn't matter. Now it's got to be Zach.
Right, and Zach might show otherwise. He might come in on Sunday and say, no, he's not the better quarterback right now because we don't know about this, but over the 2.5 weeks, this kid may have found himself, got back to the fundamentals, and it might be clicking, and he might come in because I still believe that a Zach Wilson that's not off balance with horrible footwork is a Zach Wilson that's better than Mike White. The problem is that he hasn't been that. His footwork is awful. He's very happy feet. He's throwing off balance. But when you look at the plays where he's stepping into his throw, he's amazing.
You know what I'm hoping he's doing? I'm hoping because he's at the game and he's looking at the tape of Mike White. And I'm hoping he can see, oh, yeah, he's just making the easy look easy. He's just zipping it in when there's a little bit of daylight. When there's a step on the defender, he's just bam. And he was reading the defense in advance. And when the left side is closed because it's overloaded with the D, he's making his move right to the right-hand side. And if that guy is covered, then he's dumping it off. I mean, it's easy, right? Not for me. But I mean for a professional quarterback getting paid millions of dollars.
Yeah. No, he's look. It also shows him, like if you're watching the tape, by getting to see Garrett Wilson, you're getting to see what you have. Like, look, Garrett Wilson doesn't need to be 2 steps open. Like you're saying, if you zip it in there, Garrett Wilson's getting that ball.
He's fighting for that ball. The only way to keep him from getting it is to tackle him before the ball gets there, which we've seen. Right? That's the only way they're stopping him.
Yeah. Hey, Lee, we got a question for you. Green Truth chimes in. Simple question. Are the Jets better with Zach Wilson? ? He may look okay this week. Did he learn touch or be able to slide step or keep his feet planted? So that's what we're hoping. Did he lose his fear of being hit?
I can give my answer and you can give yours.
Okay. I'll start by saying these are all things we're going to find out.
Yeah.
I think he knew how to do all these things. So I do want to say that. I think he knew how to do all these things. Sometimes we know how to do things and we still don't do it because of other things. And it could be the last thing that was mentioned. Fear. I think fear can do a lot to a person, a lot of negative things. And I think what we saw against New England was fear.
This is the only question there that is, I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad question. It's a great question. But the main question is fear. And you hit the nail on the head. He's already learned how to do all those things in his life. And I'm sure in practice, he's doing them just fine. The question is when he has a rush in his face, is he going to be able to deal with the fear and stand in the pocket and take the hit? I mean, look, he saw Mike White get destroyed, right? So I don't know if he's going to be able to hang in the pocket. He couldn't before.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I believe he can do it. I've seen him with really good fundamentals. I've seen him. He wasn't a guy that had happy feet. And it might be at a point where he's like, what's there to be afraid of at this point? I lost my job.
Yeah.
I lost everything. So it's, so maybe it's going to click at him. It's like, just what am I afraid of? The worst happened. So now I'm going to plant my feet. I'm going to focus. I'm going to stay in there, and I'm going to take the hits if I take the hits. But I'm going to throw that damn football the way I know how to throw it.
And if he does, he could thank Saleh. He could thank Saleh for taking him out and showing him what a quarterback looks like, and scaring him and saying, "Okay, now you got your chance. Here's the ball. Go do something." And that was Saleh, right? I mean, Saleh is actually coaching him very well.
Yeah. Joe Buddha. Yeah, I mean, look, every quarterback, a lot of quarterbacks, even when they get good protection, it doesn't mean that they have good footwork. But Zach, as we've seen, does. We kind of saw that with we were looking at Goff's tape yesterday, and that's the way Jared Goff is. When Jared Goff has time and he's not under pressure, he actually has good mechanics, good decent feet work, and he's putting up. He looks great. When he's under any kind of pressure, he starts dancing and he ends up throwing off balance, and he's awful. So what we want to do is we don't want a Zach Wilson that's only good when he's not under pressure, and then he's going to be awful and have awful footwork. We need him to get over it and just stay planted and hang in that pocket, be decisive, be quick, get rid of the ball with a good fundamental throw, like driving through, stepping forward, the way you need to throw a football.
So not to move right to Goff, but why not? Goff's been tremendous, especially the second half of this first 2/3 of the season. In the last 5 games, the guy's mostly been lights out, just over 100 almost every game. Wow, the guy's really throwing well. And as you said, the protection is what allows him to have a 70+% completion, have nice yards, and of course, not that it should count as much as it does, but throw those TD passes. So how are we going to break that, Jeremy? How are we going to keep the pressure on with our 4-man rush?
Well, that's what we do. But we do it from a 2-prone attack. We don't only do it with the 4-man rush. We also have 2 of the best cornerbacks in the NFL that take out their best receivers. So in normal weeks, a lot of times Detroit's going against Minnesota, right? Goff looks up. He's looking at Justin Jefferson. He's looking at his top 2 receivers through the progressions. They're open a lot. So he's able to make these plays. What happens, the question is, when he looks up during a play, he snaps the ball, he looks up, progression 1, he's looking to Justin Jefferson, not there, Sauce is on him. Looks down the other side, Reed is on that guy. Now he's getting down to his third, he's checking down, he's doing those kind of things. By that time, maybe our guys get to him, but the guy's got to get home. If our defensive line, we've seen how bad our defense is when the defensive line doesn't get home. Like, they've got to get there. If they don't get there, our defense falls apart, because the defense is built and dependent on getting there.
Yeah, it is. And just based on how he's been doing, I think to hold Goff to 24 is a good job. I mean, that's a good job. I know it sounds like a high number of points. So if we want to hold him to 17 or 20, even more difficult, right? To keep this guy off of 30, to keep him off of 20, holy cow, that's hard. So no matter whatever quarterback is in the game, it's going to be Zach. I covered this in one of my videos, right? They've got to score over 24 points. And that's not something that happens with our offense very often. We really depend on our defense to win games. So it's critical that Zach has snapped out of this funk, the yips that he's in. Critical.
Yeah. I agree. And so proud New York, proud New York Jets fans. Proud New York Jets. Nick, Ugly Nick is here. So Twisted says, can it be done without Q this week? So here's my thing. So here's what
No.
Jim, can it be done without Q this week? So here's the thing. Q is obviously a critical part of the defense. I mean, he's our best defensive player, but at the same time, if he's 50-50, if he doesn't play, it doesn't mean we're not going to be able to pressure Goff, because he's not the edge. I mean, like, we still get a lot of pressure from Lawson, from JJ, from Huff. We still have guys that get there. The problem is pressure in the pocket, tightness in the pocket. I think they should move JFM to the inside for sure if Q is out, because JFM could play on the inside, but is also a guy who can get to the quarterback.
The Q is so disruptive, Jeremy. I mean, this is nothing I'm super concerned about.
Hurt us.
He's super disruptive. He's the most disruptive guy out there. Mm-hmm. He's havoc, right, to the offensive line. So without that, we're going to miss some big plays. We're going to have less big plays.
Yeah, but also remember, though, that We held our own for 3 quarters against Buffalo without him. Buffalo's offense, Josh Allen, not everybody can contain them. We contained them. We kept that game under control. So, I mean, Buffalo lights people up. Josh Allen was the start of the year. He's been MVP candidate. And twice we've stopped him. And we did it for 3 quarters. We stayed in that game. We had a chance to win that game.
I agree. I'm just laying it out that we certainly are going to miss Q. We're going to miss him, right? I'm not saying that we have a bad defense without him. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I love about Saleh is it's just next man up. It's just next man up, right? So that whole philosophy has shown power, real power the entire season. When he started saying it, I was sick of it, and now I kind of appreciate it, that we're not dependent on one person ever, that we can put the next person up, the next guy up, and know that they know how to play the game, that they're an NFL quality player, that they know the offense, that they know how to be the next cog in the wheel of our offense or our defense. And I believe that. I really do. I think we've seen it, but we do take a hit each time.
Yeah, look, we take a time. We want Q to play. If he doesn't play, doesn't mean we're going to lose the game. There's a lot of people being very, very negative right now, and I think they're highly overrating Detroit. Like, it's getting way out of hand. Like, I understand that Detroit is good, and we can't overlook them, and we can't treat them like they're bad. But they're not a Super Bowl team. Like, can we stop this stupidity? They're not a Super Bowl team. They have the worst defense in the NFL.
They took the last 5 out of 6. They took the last 5 out of 6.
NFL. I don't understand they've won 5 out of 6. They're not a Super Bowl team.
Okay.
They're not. Look who they're playing. They're not. And also look at on the road. Look at them on the road. It's different than when they're at home. When they're on the road.
I think that's our biggest weapon. That's not our biggest, but it is a big weapon for us, is that I think the Jet fans are crazy excited to be back again at home.
I mean, we have played well against great teams, right? I mean, Minnesota was 9-2 when we went in there, and Berrios doesn't drop that ball. We're like winning that game.
Didn't the Lions just beat them?
Yes, but what I'm saying is, but in Minnesota, I mean, at home in Detroit.
Yeah, I know.
We had to play them in Minnesota, and they had beaten Buffalo in Buffalo, Minnesota, so they're no joke. And then we played Buffalo twice. We beat them in the other game without, we turned the ball over twice and had the CJ, technically a turnover. I mean, like, I'm talking to the chat. Yeah. So, like, everyone's got to cool down. Like, we played good teams. Like, everybody's acting like any good team we play, we're going to get blown out by. And it's just not true. It's not happening this year. We are competitive. Q is great. It's going to hurt us not to have Q. He's not the whole team. There's a lot of great players on our defense. We could still make great plays. We could still have a great game. And we're not saying that we have to shut Detroit down. Detroit, like you said, could score 24 points, and they give up 30 a game, and we might get the 30.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, we're going to need it on offensive defense. We're going to need the defense not to let them hit their more normal mark of 30. Because we just haven't been a 30-point team very often. So we need to keep them under 30, the more the better with our defense. And our offense has to thrive under Zach. And that will be a change.
Just to give it some thought, because we didn't bring it up the whole show. What do you think about Strevler? Should we activate Strevler?
I don't think we're going to. I don't think we're going to.
Did you see how well he played against those guys that work for Home Depot now?
Hey, stop. Okay, I'm not a Strevler fan or anything, but I'm really scared of Flacco. Like, if Zach takes a hit, Zach's gone down a lot. He is injury prone. So far in his career, he's been a little bit injury prone, right? So we're going to have to put Flacco in there Sunday if Zach gets hurt.
So Green Truth, here's the thing. There's a possibility that you're right and Zach will never get it. But at the same time, you use a bad example. Because there's no such thing as a kid who can't get
It's a good example for you, Jeremy.
It's a good example for me. There is no kid who can't get algebra. I've never had one. Because the truth is, when I taught high school, I've never had a student that I didn't get past the state exam to get their high school diploma. And I've had kids who said, I can't do algebra. And guess what? They can. So, but I will say I will not say that's a reason why Zach will get it. I'll say it's an apples to oranges comparison, because there is a chance, and lots of NFL quarterbacks, most NFL quarterbacks who get drafted into the NFL never get it. They're never able to process the field. I think it's a gifted ability that only a few people have. And if you don't have it, you don't have it. But I will argue that we don't know 100% that Zach doesn't have it, because there have been quarterbacks, and Mike White said it about himself the other day. It just clicks. Because Mike White said it the other day. He goes, it started to click for me. He's 27 years old.
Hey, Green Truth, I want to teach your kid algebra, man.
I bet you I could teach your son algebra. That's why I got promoted, and that's why I am who I am in education. Because I was able to teach every kid algebra. And I'm a special education teacher, so I've taught the kids with the most, barriers and difficulties.
But it doesn't translate to Zach. What we're saying is, with Zach, we don't know if it clicks or not. And the sad thing is, it could click 5 years from now if any team takes a chance on him, right? And so our best hope, our absolute best hope, I got to tell you, I will take out my best scotch and I will drink it, and I'll drink one for Jeremy because he's not here, so I can't share it with him. But I will drink my best scotch if Zach has a great game and he's overcome his problems. And the reason is, number one, it means we're still in the playoff hunt. Number two is, hey, we might have a quarterback for the next 10 years that could get us far. I'm not writing Zach off. I wish White was in there right now because I really want to make the playoffs. But I'm not writing Zach off.
And look at this. I always get love when they find out. I'm an assistant principal now, but I still have my heart is still in special education, obviously. A special education teacher, you're uniquely qualified to speak to half of the Jet fans out there. That's why I have Lee. I have Lee here to speak to the other half. Michael Clemens is 100% playing and participating in practice. He had the flu. He's completely better now and recovered. So, yes, we'll have Michael Clemens back. I forgot what I was going to save him with all that. But
hey, Jeremy, you know what we haven't talked about?
What?
We really do. We are on the verge of having a true, like something we have not had, a true quarterback controversy. We are on the verge. If Zach has a good game and we lose, what does the coaching staff do? That's a difficult situation. What do we do if they win? What do we do if Zach has a good game? What do we do?
I think like I said, I think that there's no way that Zach is going from that Mike White is going from he's not allowed to feel contact. He's not allowed to have contact to in 4 days on Thursday. Maybe he'll be okay, approved to play, but there's no way he's going to be okay. There's no way he's going to be 100%. So if Zach comes out,
yes,
if Zach comes out and has a very good game, and we win the game, he's and score a lot of points, and Zach has a great, comeback, and everyone's all excited about it. I don't care. There's going to be a lot of haters out there saying, oh, this doesn't count. Detroit's defense stinks. Those people need to shut up. If Zach comes in and plays well, and he's very good, I think he definitely plays on Thursday for a couple of reasons. First of all, Mike White is not going to magically be completely healthy. And there's an opportunity for us if Zach can stack another good game to this is what we really need as an organization to happen. It's such an important thing if it's possible that it happens, that because there's such, and we talked about it before, there's such a heavy bias, or not bias, like a heavy reason why we benefit so much if Zach is the winner of this competition, if it becomes one. So I think they're going to be looking for an excuse or any reason to say Zach is the starter on Thursday if he plays really well, and I think the ribs are going to play to that perfectly.
Right, but I think that it's not going to stop there. First of all, I saw a comment in the chat from Frank that Zach's not going to have the greatest game, and I think that's probably true. I think what we're hoping for is Zach has a good game. That Zach has a good quarterback game and that we win. We all want to win.
I just
We
want to
want
win.
to play good enough. But if he does, I understand, Jeremy, that they're going to look for an excuse to keep White, ribs. Let's protect him. Why rush him back? Zach's doing okay. We'll make the playoffs with him. I'm just saying that the press in the room, the articles, the fans, even in their heads, the coaching staff are going to be like, "Holy we got a weird problem now." Like if Zach plays well, we're going to have a quarterback controversy, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to be talking about. Right? They're already talking about it.
Yeah,
we already have people on different camps.
We already have the fan base at their throats.
And that's with Zach playing like crap
and Mike playing great,
and Mike playing really well, like doing things Zach's never done. Oh my God, what if Zach does them too? It's going to be and gets a win, which Mike hasn't really done as much, right? I mean, so it's going to create chaos, baby. It's going to be right up our alley.
It definitely creates a controversy because at some point, like even if Mike White keeps looking even though he's looked better as a quarterback and clearly has played better, if Zach wins though, just winning is going to give so much ammunition to the argument of whatever the reason is, we just freaking win when he plays. Like for whatever reason, we win. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be winning or losing. It's going to be how he plays. I mean, if Goff and Zach both go out and play terrible, and we win in a terrible game that ends, 7-3 or 6-3.
Yeah, we backed into it. We backed into it, right? We're going to say we backed into it.
Yeah, then he's done.
I'm talking about if Zach looks like a quarterback out there, and he has at times looked like a quarterback. And if he has 2 or 3 touchdowns with 1 interception and 250 yards with a 70% completion, like not crazy, avoids a couple of sacks with his legs, runs for a few first downs because that's where he excels, where Mike White doesn't. If he does all that and has a good Zach game, 100 passer rating, right? I'm just saying you're going to see people screaming between Zach and Mike White.
Yeah.
Screaming.
Oh my God. Tell me, you think it's easy for me? It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I mean, obviously for me as someone rooting, I don't care. I mean, I root for the Jets. Whoever's playing quarterback, I hope that we score a touchdown every drive. Right. So I'm hoping that we come out Detroit, against Detroit, we rock it. And Zach is a superstar, obviously, and that we crush Detroit. But the crap that I have to put up with as a result of that is just because then I'm going to have half the fan base saying it was only because it was Detroit. It doesn't count. Get Mike White back in there. And then I'm going to have other people saying, you're crazy. We should have never benched Zach. We'd be already in the playoffs. If they didn't bench Zach, we would have beaten Buffalo the second time. Like, this is the crap that we're going to be dealing with. It's funny because he's saying you're wearing a brown sweat hoodie.
That's why I showed it, man. That's
and
why
you're specifically wearing a Knicks hoodie. So, it's no matter what, we're going to have fighting in the chats and everything. It's like, and I'm going to need therapy from it because they just drive me crazy.
Well, the reason they don't drive me crazy is because I still have my opinion that's based on just what I'm saying. I think it's the truth, and I can say what the truth is and separate that. That's why I have my different hats. I have my Zach hat. I have my Mike White hat. I have my logical hat. I don't have much hair.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Billy Joel song. It's a matter of trust. Yeah, I mean, look, it's definitely gonna come down to trust, but it's gonna trust comes from performance, right? Trust comes from performance, but they're also, you see, everybody thinks they just look at the box score and they just look at the play. That's not what the coaches only look at. They're going to look at Zach's feet. Like they're going to look at the film and say, well, yeah, he had a good game. If he's throwing off balance and making the same mistakes, they're going to say he's going to fall apart when we play a good defense, and that's not going to be a good thing. But if he has a great day and he's throwing and his feet are good all game long, and he's planting his feet and he's using good mechanics, that's what gets trust. Don't you think, Lee? I mean, part of it is
I definitely, not only do I think that, I mean, they're going to evaluate correctly based on how he really is playing as a quarterback, right? There's something we haven't talked about, and that is how the team reacted to Mike White coming in. They wear his T-shirts. They say he's the dude. He's the man. We love him. He's the best. I love my Mike. So that's also something I think the coaching has to consider. They have to make sure if they're going to bring Zach forward, they have to make sure they bring the locker with Zach. But it's one thing that, I mean, I know a lot of people don't agree with me, so I'm going to say it anyway. I trust Coach Saleh. I mean, sometimes I think he just says the same things over and over again, the same way. Sometimes I think he says the same things over and over again, the same way. But I really, really trust his footballism, his ability to work with the players. And I know sometimes you think he gives people too much slack. I mean, not enough slack, too much rope. But I really appreciate the guy. I think we have a winner in Saleh, what he's done with the team. I mean, come on, from where we were. And so I think what I have faith in is whatever choice coach makes, I'm with that choice. He knows a lot more than I do. Both he's seeing what's happening on the practice field. He's also a lot smarter than I am.
Yeah, I'm gonna trust whatever Saleh does at this point. They earn that much, so I'm gonna trust it. I'm gonna tell my wife I ate very late in the day because we had our staff party. I'm not hungry right now at all, so you better eat something if you're hungry. And maybe later tonight I'll get hungry and we'll figure it out. But we're not ordering food. I'll go out and get something. So
I'm making salmon pretty soon. I'll be making some salmon.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we got a super chat from Armando N. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Hi guys. I've been arguing with Lions fans today. Oh, that sounds fun. Lions fans forget that they are coming to our house. Yeah, they are a little delusional about like where they play. They forget that it's like cold in New York. We're going to dispatch our F-14 Tomcats after Goff. Let's get it. Yeah, look, that's the key to the game for me. Like as far as if like the way to beat Detroit, obviously, is to contain their offense, to not let them go 30 plus, and to hold them. If we hold them to 20 or under, I mean, then it's all Mike LaFleur on the offense if we don't win. Like you can't ask our defense to do more than that. If they hold Detroit to under 20 points, they did their job. So, and the way to do that is they have to get to Goff. They have to make him uncomfortable. When he's not uncomfortable, he's the quarterback that got the Rams to the Super Bowl. I mean, when he's not uncomfortable, he's incredibly dangerous. When he's uncomfortable, he has happy feet, and he'll be very easy to beat.
I'll tell you what we need to do, okay? I already said exactly what you said. We need to hold them to 20 or less on the defense, and I love our defense, even without the big Q. I think there's a chance we can do that. It's a good chance, okay, that we could do that. I think our defense needs to score a touchdown because I think we need to get into the 20s, potentially the high 20s to win the game, to be safe. And to do that, it would be, especially given that Zach's coming off of a long rest, it would be extremely helpful to have the defense pull off a pick six, pick up a fumble, do some special things, which I know they can. We all know they can to help.
Yeah. Thank you so much again for the super chat. Can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I really do.
Go Jets.
It's an amazing gesture. So thank you so much. Snowball says, I think about dinner often. That is true. I do. I think about dinner often. Great night. Let's go, Zach. Next man up. Welcome to the chat, Trey Knight.
Who
You look
thinks
new,
about the
so,
Jets
welcome.
more?
I do think about. Well, I don't know. It's close.
Next man up. Next man up.
Look, Billy already knows my answer because this is the answer I give her every time, pretty much. So Billy already knows. He's like, it's like they're in my relationship. It's like I'm a TV, like a reality show where they're just looking in at my life.
Hey, can I tell you something interesting?
Yeah.
After or now?
Right now, tell us something interesting.
I'm going to tell you something interesting, okay? I watched an interview with Josh Allen after the game, like his post-game conference with his press in Buffalo. Now, in Buffalo, he's not dealing with the post. He's not. I mean, it's a different level of press, but they were giving him a really hard time after he beat the Jets. They were talking about all the things he did wrong. They were pointing out drives that he did bad. And you could tell he was really frustrated with it. And it just blew my mind that they just took us out. And he was saying really nice things about the Jets. He was saying, yeah, they're really tough defense. They were giving us looks that we haven't seen before. They were surprising us. I mean, I loved hearing him talk about the Jets. It was defense. It was fantastic. But the fact that his press couldn't just appreciate that they're a Super Bowl team blew me, and that he's an excellent, excellent quarterback. They were all over him, man. It was amazing. And he didn't handle it, I don't think, as well as Mike White handles the press. Like, I think Mike White, one thing I love about the guy, not that it translates to the football field, but he makes jokes with the press. Like, he's so unafraid of the press. It's incredible. And that's another place Zach has to, learn to hold it together. But I just thought you'd appreciate that interview with Josh Allen, that how they were giving him a hard time.
Yeah, that's funny. It's interesting because they wanted an MVP season out of him. They're expecting MVP type play, and the Jets make him look very average.
Yeah.
So
he had very average numbers, very average,
very average, very pedestrian, and that's not So they're gonna jump all over it, and they were without the turnovers, we good chance we win that game. So
they were calling out his runs though. He had some runs that made the difference,
right?
Like big run, and they were saying how he sucked on third down. They pointed that out. He was like, "Yeah, we weren't real good at third down, but his running." So, they were complimentary of that, right? And that's where maybe a Zach can do something magical for us Sunday.
Well, he's done it in the past. So Jets Mess comes in and he says, "Not hungry." What? I never thought I heard that. Well, I just ate like at a staff party, a lot of food. So, thanks for the super chat. Green Truth. I appreciate the super chat. And with his super chat, he says, and has a question, which I appreciate even more. I love it when the super chat has a question. What did you think of Salah's comment regarding Zach's 18 for 18 in college comment? Why even bring it up? I think Salah is disappointed about this. I think, if it wasn't something he plans to say and it just kind of comes out and it's in his thoughts, I kind of feel where that comes from is this part of him that says, like, the part of Salah that says, I know this kid could do it. When we drafted him, we talked about this. He went on crazy streaks. He was 18 for 18 in that Senior Bowl. So maybe it just came out of him in trying to prove he could be consistent. He just came out of him because it was something that a lot of people talked about it. That's why he flew into the first round. It wasn't just his play. People talked about that Senior Bowl, not the Senior Bowl, that bowl game where he went 18 for 18 and how amazing he looked.
I was nervous when I heard it, Jeremy. And one reason I was nervous is because he went back to that instead of coming back to the usual Steeler fourth quarter, kind of thing. But another reason I was nervous is this, and I'm afraid I'm almost afraid to say it, but I think he was saying, look, he was a number 2 draft choice for a reason. This is what we analyze. If you want to go back and look at why he was number 2 and why we're not idiots, look at this tape. His lower body functioned just fine. He stayed in the pot. I mean, he looks like a quarterback, and that's why he drafted him. So we know he can do it. It's just a matter of him doing it.
Right, but some would argue, no, he can't because he had a lot of time, and now under the pressure, he's not getting it. I don't think we know that for sure yet because, again, it's not impossible. People have come he's 23 years old. He has the kind of talent where if it clicks, he's going to be really special. The only thing is that the more he plays and the more he doesn't click, we all have our threshold of losing patience and saying, that's it. I'm done waiting for it to click. But anyway, thank you so much for the super chat, Green Truth. Again, we appreciate it. Keeps the lights on. Literally, I could show you. These are studio lights. Keeps the lights on. I pay for this stuff. I pay for my studio equipment.
Okay, right now I am in a literal cave. I am underground right now. Jeremy has seen my cave, and there's no heater in there's no heat in here, so I have a little space heater blasting on me because it's 30 degrees outside. I think it's 26 now. Anyway, so thank you for the super chat.
Yes. And remember, Zach might come out and just play game manager, and that might be enough. We're watching Brock Purdy do it in San Francisco. I mean, Bam Knight looks great. Looks like he'd be a stud running back. Maybe we start pounding the ball and Bam is going off and we're controlling the line of scrimmage, and we just need Zach to throw short passes, get the ball out to Elijah out of the slot, get the ball to Garrett. They'll make some big plays. Maybe we just need him to be a game manager. Like Lee says over and over again, make the simple look simple.
Yeah, but Jeremy, that's all we ever needed him to do. That's all any coach and any team needs any NFL quarterback to do, and that is to take what the defense gives you. If they start taking away the little dinky short passes, then you got to go mid or you got to go long. And if they don't give you the run, you got to pass. And if they take away the pass, you take the. I mean, it's all about taking the valleys and not the hills, taking the holes and not the hills. That's what taking the holes and not the hills. Don't go where they're waiting for you.
Right.
Don't go into the ambush. Go where they're leaving open.
Yeah. Sith happens. That's okay. Just being here, being in the chat, liking the video is great support. We appreciate it.
It happens, baby.
Yeah, Sith happens. Only now and then do you understand the true power of the dark side.
I am your father.
I did see that Bam and Sauce went to the Rangers game. I love seeing our young players out and about in New York City doing things together and being teammates and being friends. I think it's a great thing. So I'm excited about that. Also, I want to say that okay? I understand that the team rallied around Mike White and they love him and they're supporting him. And maybe he's like, you can tell when he talks, he's a great guy and there's nothing not to love about the kid. That doesn't mean they don't like Zach. Like, people have got to stop jumping to all these conclusions that they don't like Zach. You don't know that they're not in the locker room. And apparently, according to Zach, they are. They're encouraging him all the time. They're telling him to hang in there. You know what I mean? They're being friends to him. And I don't like when people just make things up. Like, we're just inventing this and we don't have enough information. We're just making all these assumptions. Just because they love Mike White, two things could be true. They could love Mike White and still support Zach and want him to do well and like Zach. Maybe they don't love him like they love Mike White, but that doesn't mean they don't like him. It doesn't mean right now they don't want to win and say, well, we don't want to win because we don't like playing hard for Zach. If you think that's what's going on, you're missing the point of why the Jets have turn this around and why we went from 4-13 to the team that's talking about the playoffs. This is because we finally have a real locker room. So it's and part of that is that these players are probably encouraging Zach. They are there for Zach, and they're probably telling Zach that now all day since it's been announced.
Yeah, I never released a video, Jeremy. You never saw it. I made a video for our channel here. And I never released it because before I could they announced that Mike White was going to come in for Zach. And so I'm like, holy cow, I'm glad I didn't put this out like 10 minutes ago. It was like 10 minutes before the announcement that I finished the video. And it was about all the quotes of all the Jets saying how much they supported Zach Wilson after the bonehead thing he said, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He, like his offensive line, his defense, they all talked about how much they supported Zach and how much they love Zach, how much they love playing with him. So they all said it. And the reason they went up to talk is because Saleh didn't. He was supposed to do a press conference. And then Saleh comes up like an hour after them, after they all came up and said, we love Zach, and I'm doing a video on it. And he said, we're starting Mike White. We're taking Zach out. And I'm like, oh, I can't release this video now. But my point was that even though he made those blunders, it was one line he said, he was flustered. The team still knows they have to back up their quarterback, and they still know they have a potential star, and they still had his back. It doesn't mean they don't love White, because White's a fun guy, man. He's a fun guy.
It's two things could be true. They could love White and they could love Zach. I mean, it's crazy. It's like they're young guys. They could all be friends. They could all love each other. And right now they go crazy for White because maybe they love his story that he wasn't supposed to do it. He's a little older than them, so he's kind of like an older brother that was never supposed to do it. And they're thrilled for him and they love him, and that's fine. Can you read this in a Darth Vader voice, Lee?
I find your lack of faith disturbing. The only thing I ever say in Vader is "Father, I am your father."
Yeah, I got a message for Detroit. I'm afraid our defense will be quite operational when your friends arrive.
A long time ago, I drew me a little Emperor action figure.
My Emperor action figure. I had that thing when I worked in high tech in my cubicle for 1,000 years, and it's still sitting downstairs on a bookcase in my wife's office / gym. It's still on a bookcase in there, that Emperor doll. One that's in a package unopened, but I have 1 million of those now, thanks to you. But the one that I opened is the one that's been with me everywhere. So
I this is kind of interesting, and I don't know if people are interested in hearing about this or not, but I'll give it a go. When the Empire Strikes Back movie came out, back then movies would only open up in certain theaters that were really big, and so the only place you could see it in New York City the first week was in one theater in Manhattan. And I worked in the city. I was 13, 15. I think I was 15 or 16. And I went and I saw it. It was the most amazing episode. Most amazing movie I'd ever seen. I actually jogged all over Manhattan, like 10 miles. I was so pumped. And I went back and I told my brothers. Now, if I was 16, Jeremy was 9. And my parents gave me permission on Saturday to go into the city. This is week before the movie came out, and I saw it on Friday. Took them on Saturday to take them to see on Times Square in this movie theater is where it was playing, to take my 2 brothers who were younger than me, 13. I was like 16. They were like 13 and 9 or 12 and 9 to see this movie. And it was Times Square when Times Square was dangerous, drugs everywhere.
Yeah.
It was pouring rain.
I remember the rain.
And I found a cop on the subway system because I didn't want my brothers to get wet. And I said, can you watch my brothers? I'm going to try to get Star Wars tickets. He said, dude, the line is around the block multiple times. You're never going to get tickets. I ran to the theater in the rain. The line was around the block, and the guards at the theater had moved everybody underneath the awning of the theater because it was raining so hard, and stopped selling tickets because otherwise people wouldn't move. So I ran up to the box office, and it was closed still. I basically cut line, And right as I got there, the woman lifted it because the rain had gone a little bit lighter, and she sold me 3 without waiting online. So I'm like I had jumped in a lake wet. Like there's not a part of me that's not wet. And I ran back to the theater because it wasn't raining. It stopped for a brief moment here. I got the kids, my brothers. We ran back to the movie. We went inside. Jeremy, I don't know if you remember this. We went into the bathroom because I was sopping wet. And I took off my clothes in the bathroom, not my underwear, and I dried it under the hand dryers. I twisted it.
God, I remember that.
I twisted it to get all the water out in the sink because I couldn't sit in the theater with the air conditioning on in wet clothes. I would have gotten pneumonia.
Oh my God.
So I dried out my pants and my shirts. And then I went in the bathroom and took off my underwear after I dried the clothes. And so I was wearing, and then I dried the underwear. So I did it all, without getting naked in the bathroom, and dried all my clothes with the hand dryer, and got redressed. And we went and saw. We were like in the middle of the theater because we were young, pushy kids to see Star Wars on its second day. Opens Empire Strikes Back, which is when he says, "I am your father, sister. Now you have betrayed her too."
No, that was Return of the Jedi, the sister part. But the
that's right. That's right. You're right.
I am your father. But so what was interesting about how popular it was? People have to understand. Not a lot of people here. I mean, some people here are old enough to remember this, but so Star Wars was out for quite some time, and people saw it on VHS, whatever, like repeats. They watch it in their house a million times. It was a culture thing. Like it was right. We had years of it, right? Because it was 77 to 81 before Return. For me, it was a lifetime of knowing Star Wars, knowing the characters before Empire Strikes Back even came out.
I think 80. Yeah,
80. And I remember that but for a kid my age, that's a lifetime. It was a third of my life. It was from 7 years old when I was 7, 8 years old to when I was 9, 10 years old, right? So it was, I remember when they showed the characters, like when they would show someone, the audience would applaud like it was a Broadway show.
Yes.
You remember that? Like it would show Luke outside.
We couldn't believe it. We never thought we'd see these characters again.
Right. And everybody just cheering and clapping. It was the most and that was the best of all the movies. Of all the movies they ever made for the Star Wars brand.
It's my favorite.
That was the best one.
My favorite.
Even though it didn't have the happy ending and it was the rough one that that ended like with hand, it was still the best one. The best lines, the best emotion, like it was just the best one. And I loved Return of the Jedi, but Empire Strikes Back was the best Star Wars movie ever made. I think.
Hey, I think people are wanting to get us back to the Jets.
Yeah, we're going to get back to the Jets. But
it's hard not to talk about that because that was an amazing time in our lives.
It's hard, yeah. Sith Happens is loving it. So anyway, we're going to get to we are at another super chat from Armando N.
Whoa.
You're just totally hooking us up. We appreciate it. Again, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate stuff like that when you guys do that. It's very humbling.
For those that can.
For those that can, it's incredibly humbling because it's like, it's just a big deal to do that for us. So we really appreciate it. And also, for those of you that can't, but can do like $3 a month, you could support the channel by going to the homepage of Jets Chaos, and there's a join button. And literally for a few bucks, $3, less than a cup of coffee nowadays, less than a cup of coffee every month. If a lot of people do it, it really helps the channel. And just the other day, I released a video just for members. And the video was, I'm going to give you a little snippet of how it works on our site. Behind the scenes look, I made 2 videos before the Wednesday press conference for Saleh. I made a video that said Zach is back, like meaning he's going to be quarterback 2. And I made a video that said, an angry video saying Saleh doesn't want to make playoffs, saying why would he not elevate Zach to QB2? White might get hurt, he might be out in one play, and then we're going to be stuck with Flacco. And it's a whole angry video. And the moment Saleh said Zach is elevated to number 2, A lot of you know this because you saw it happen. I released the video within 3 seconds of Salah saying it. And people said, I don't understand how you do that. How are you so fast? Anyway, all my members got to see the other video. They all got to see the video. I sent them the video that I made in case Zach was not elevated to QB2. So those are the kind of things I give to my members if you want to join the channel. Also, for those heavier snack members, like because there's like different categories, for the heavier snack members, and you can look in the chat, Grandizer is putting out all the things, light snacker, heavy snacker, super snacker. It's all out there. It's all up there. For the people who are heavy snackers, I give you my I have open conversations on email. So like Twister can tell you, Twister is one of as a member. We talk back and forth on email. So I have open conversations. So you have open access to just talk to me. You know, how I'm reacting, how I'm feeling about things. And I provide that to my members. That sounds so snooty. If you pay me, I'll be your friend. So, but anyway, let's get
to you don't answer my emails.
Let's get to the super chat. Hi guys, why is it that we don't get calls from the refs on obvious penalties? That drives me beyond insanity. It's every week there's at least one that makes me want to break the TV and makes me want to sue the NFL. The non-call on Garrett Wilson out of bounds was the most disgusting non-call of the season for me. It was absolutely unacceptable. And then to find out that the referee said to Garrett Wilson when he complained, this is not Ohio State, is so inappropriate. That sounds like it's something out of a racist movie. Doesn't it?
It does.
Like, doesn't it sound something out of a racist movie?
Crazy. It's crazy.
This ain't Ohio State, boy. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like. That's what it feels like to me. That they were like hazing him. They were hazing Garrett Wilson for complaining that he was hit out of bounds, and it's so unfair, and it really impacts the legitimacy of the NFL, because when you have calls that some teams get and others don't, it takes away the fairness of the game. The game becomes biased towards a team. And I think that really hurts the sport. And somebody needs to send that to the commissioner, because that could that's the most damaging thing that could happen to the NFL. That referees are deciding outcomes of games. What do you think,
Jeremy? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I scream at the TV every Sunday. You know, once in a while I think, hey, we got one. You know, like I'm blown away. Like that touchdown, Mike White, you know, where they showed it from a lot of angles. And one angle you could see that he's over the line in that touchdown run. I would have bet anything we weren't going to get that call, because we never get calls. So it was stunning. That's how often we don't get the call. I'm stunned when we get the call.
Yeah, it's the amount. Green Bean is so good at catching it. I don't. He's like, you know, some people have an eye for different things. The amount that they hold are rushers. Like, people don't realize it. Bryce Huff is held on almost every play. It's the same thing. You could see him lifting his arm up, trying to get loose because they're holding him, and he's trying to show the refs. He raises his arm so the refs can see it, and they won't call it. And I don't understand. Like, you're not allowed to hold the edge rusher. You're not allowed to grab his shirt and hold him.
And we've had plays.
You're not allowed to do it.
We've had plays against us where we've been called. Well, we've been called.
I know.
That could have not been called. Like, they were penalties. They were edge penalties. Those penalties were like, hey, half a step either way. You know, like it. And they always go against us. And some of them are they're game on the line calls.
Yeah, it's it's super upsetting. It's definitely hurt us this year. But you know what? At the end of the day, it might make us tougher because we're playing against the refs also. One day when we're winning more consistently, it will change for us, because they'll realize New York market. It's actually good when the Jets win. It makes money for the NFL, and maybe it'll. I don't want the cheating.
Right. I don't
just
want
want
to get.
fairness.
I don't
I
want to
just want
call that we don't
fairness.
deserve. I just want the ones we should get.
I feel like if the referees would just call it down the middle and call it correctly for us,
Yes,
that alone would be such a huge
down
shift
the
and
middle,
advantage
baby.
for us.
Yeah.
But for us, that would be a huge thing. For New England, it would hurt them because then they would, you know what I mean? It would actually hurt them and make them worse as a team. For us, it would make us so much better if they would just go down the middle and call it fair.
So
It's
we
incredible.
join you in your insanity. Hey, look at this, Jeremy. 2 letters difference. Oh, you took it away.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you could do that. You did that? Bring it back. Bring it back. Oh, what's this? This one?
Yeah, I like it because it said Return of the Jedi.
It's Return. well. There's a guy, Rusty Spooner, Return of the Jet Die, and he did that.
Yeah, I like it.
He's probably here watching. For some reason, YouTube is broken and he's being blocked, or I think he's blocking us and doesn't realize it because I see his chats, but it doesn't let me respond to him. And I'm trying to teach him how to unblock us, but he's watching. But we need to get it worked out for the off season because Rusty Spooner actually has a very big part to play in this channel. We have a segment called Rusty's Diamonds, where he'll name college players that he loves, and we show tape of them when we actually as we get closer to the draft. So we definitely need that issue to be fixed. I think about Purdy a lot. This guy that you're talking about, Purdy, it's not Purdy, it's Purdy. You mix the R and the U, but that's okay. Jets 830. I know who you're talking about. If he could do it under the same system in San Francisco, and if White can do it, Zach has to do it. Exactly. Brock Purdy is able to come into San Francisco, rookie year, his first 3 games of his life, 7th round pick, last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, comes in and he's running San Francisco's offense, same exact offense, and he's running it fine. Zach needs to be able to run it because everybody that's played our offense since LaFleur's gotten here has done it fine, except for Zach. So we need Zach to come in and just run the offense. Like, develop into a star later. For right now, just run the offense.
Jeremy, just running the offense is what makes you a star. There's no star beyond. I guess star is when the offense falls apart and you have to be creative. But you can't make it be creative before it falls apart because the offense works.
Right.
Hey, Jeremy, I thought this was, I'll get off it soon because I know it has a bad word in it, kind of, I guess, whatever.
Okay.
But it's very funny, and it's true. Back then, Times Square was a dangerous place.
Yeah. Well, that was because that was before the internet changed. The internet changed the prostitution thing. The internet changed it because it stopped it from being an outside in your face in the street kind of thing. It turned it into an internet thing. So that was, I guess that's a bonus. I guess that's a good thing. Because I mean, look, Giuliani, as awful as a human being as he's been at times, I don't like to get political, but I mean, I'm a New Yorker. Giuliani came into Giuliani actually did some great things as a mayor. He did. And one of the things Giuliani, the best thing he did as mayor of New York when he was the mayor, is he didn't go to these places and say, you don't have the right to exist. He went to all these porn video shops and all these dirty places, and he said, you can exist, but we're moving you to west of 8th Avenue. We're going to put you on 9th and 10th Avenue on the outskirts of the city. We're going to move you over there. He gave him some kind of tax break. He did it. He made it easy for them to move. And he said, and we're going to make Times Square. And he turned it into Disney. He made it a safe place.
He made Times Square amazing. That was after our time as kids. But he did. He basically made it so that you could have both, without mixing your family into that kind of a thing.
But the prostitution thing, that was the video stores. The prostitution thing changed with the internet. It definitely did.
Oh, yeah.
Like that all the girls walking on the streets and everything, that all went away when they realized I can go onto Craigslist.
But I love New York. Okay. I was just there. I just got back a day ago. And New York is revitalized. I mean, for people that aren't from New York, that don't go into the city the city is incredible right now. It's popping. Every restaurant is like popping with action and people, and the whole city is like as clean as I've ever seen it. The quality of the stores, the restaurants, the museums are as great as they've ever been. I mean, the bad part is to go 10 blocks in an Uber is $40. So it's insane. You really have to either walk or take the subway, but the city is incredibly revitalized. It's really amazing for those of you who don't know or are thinking about going to New York. It's just an incredible place right now.
Right. Yeah, no, it's funny because people are trying to say the opposite. It's so weird. It's like every time when I was in Portland visiting you, people said you went to Portland. People have this weird, demented perception of what Portland is like. Portland is the most peaceful, nice. That was the most beautiful. I felt so safe walking around Portland. It was such an amazing experience. And people are saying, "Were you careful walking around Portland?" I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? It's Portland." Everybody is just so laid back and nice. Me and Dave, your friend Whistler, we went. With that day you were in class, we went to a bar. We met people. Everybody was super nice and friendly. I never felt safer in my life than walking around Portland. So, I know there's the like every city, there's the downtown part of Portland that you have homeless and you have like a lot of crap and drugs but 90% of Portland is just beautiful.
The only downside that I see, I've been here now about 7-8 months, is there's a lot of homeless, and for some people that's tough to take, but they're peaceful people. They're just people, right, down on their luck.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah. So not really an issue. There were a couple of months where it was difficult. In Portland, there were a lot of protests going on. There was some violence, but that was for a 2 or 3 month period where it was not the normal Portland.
Wasn't that most people coming from the outside of Portland?
Yeah, definitely. Right. It was not the people in the city creating any of the violence. There's people from outside coming in, kind of just different perspectives and coming to Portland. Yeah, it was a difficult time, but it's not like that now at all again. But let's talk about the Jets, baby.
This is hysterical. Just one more thing about 42nd Street.
If you have pictures, you have Jeremy's email. Can you send them to him? Because I would love to have those pictures as my backgrounds and my videos.
Pictures of what? That. Pictures of what?
Times Square back in the day.
Yeah. Like sure. Like, yeah. Send me any pictures you have. If you have any good pictures you want to send me, Lee will use them as the background. That'd be great.
Yeah. That was my hood. I haven't talked about it a lot, but I used to go into the city whenever I could when I was young. When I was old enough, my parents would let me. I'd take friends from college, friends from high school. We would just hang out in the city. It was fantastic. I don't have any pictures though.
So here's my question to Minnesota Jets fan. You're saying the Lions won't reach 14. Are you saying that even if Q doesn't play? Do you still think, are you confident we could hold the Lions to 14 points or less or under 14 points without Q? Because that's a hell of a statement. I
would love that. I find it difficult. As I said, anything 20 or under, I'm super happy about.
Yeah, so and Carlos, believe me, it's so frustrating because I try to join Jets Talk 24/7 and be a member for so long, and for some people it doesn't show. I don't know why. All I could say is it should be when you go to my page, like if you on YouTube search for Jets Chaos and you see like the little circle, there should be if you click on it or when you're looking at it, there should be a button that says join. Not subscribe, it's to the left. It says join. I'm looking at it right now. Like if you go to my video right now, when you see like Zach is starting on Sunday, live reactions, like the name of the film, underneath it, there's my icon, a little button that says join, a button that says analytics, and you guys don't see that because that's me, because that's for editing. Never mind.
Never mind.
I promise you somewhere there's a button that says join. If you go to the homepage, I'll try to put the Grandizer. I think keeps putting the link up. So, but anyway, you're not the only one that has trouble joining a channel. It took me like 2 months to join a channel. So it's a YouTube thing. So it's an annoying YouTube glitch because the people that work for Google in the YouTube team are the worst coders and programmers.
Hey! What are you saying?
We might want to explain that one.
I don't know if I can find you again, man. I lost you. Can you still see me?
I can see you. Don't worry, you're still on. You're still on.
Okay. I
I've had
went
that
I
happen. I've
went
had that happen.
searching for your website. I'm back.
Oh,
Yeah, my older daughter for many years was a software developer for YouTube, for Google, for YouTube. Yeah. And she's very good. Now she makes YouTube videos.
so one of the things that about
Hey,
one of the-
Jeremy, I'm looking at your page right now.
yeah.
It's on the far right, directly under your banner. It's a little black oval with the word join in white, right to the left of the subscribed or the subscribe button.
Okay,
black
so there you go, guys. Not one of the problems with having the members, and having people be members is that I have to deal with. Well, I always highlight the members' chats and give them priority, and then sometimes one of my members goes psycho because he gets very upset about losing. And my friend Knobcraft has lost his mind and is now 100% lost all faith and belief in the New York Jets, and I have to highlight it and talk about it. So all I could say is, please find your faith again, Knob. Maybe a couple of wins. I met Knobcraft at the Jet game. He's a great guy. He also sent me a lot of hot sauce, which I'm looking forward to sharing with you, Lee.
Ooh, baby.
One of my favorite sauces is he sent me a hot mustard sauce, and it is delicious. But anyway, hang in there, buddy. Hang in there, Knob. We're gonna win. You'll see. We're gonna make the playoffs. I promise. Papa Jeremy says it's gonna be okay. We're gonna make the playoffs.
Papa Jeremy, I really hope so. I really hope so. I'm waiting and seeing.
He's always mad that I'm calling him a psycho. Yeah, a psycho in a really good way, Knobcraft, and I love you kind of way. You psycho, you, in that kind of way.
Hey, the movie was won an Academy Award.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Pure Adrenaline Sports. That's John Post, the mailman. He became a member. That's awesome. Thanks for joining, John. I appreciate it. Are we still on for tomorrow, by the way? Definitely make sure you tweet me the link if we're on for tomorrow. Again, 12 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock noon Eastern. I'm going to be joining and talking some talking some fantasy football and stuff, I think. Okay. You get to see my opinions of other teams, so it's kind of cool. But thanks for joining. I appreciate that.
But Jeremy,
it's always good.
I don't know when you're doing your show exactly, but Buffalo, Miami may be in the snow.
That would actually be a really good thing, because that definitely favors the Bills.
Yeah, I think they're favored anyway. I mean, I think they're big favorites anyway. They're touchdown favorites, but I just think it'd be a fun game to watch. Come on. I know,
maybe. But when is the game? Tomorrow night?
Like West Coast time, 5:15.
Oh, maybe we should watch party that.
I thought you would be, for sure.
Well, I'm not going to do it alone.
I can try. Hey, I got to go make dinner.
Oh, he's using reverse psychology. I've done that too. I find that we have better luck when we use reverse. Like you know me, everything I like when I go crazy and give up on them, that's when they do well. I always look like an idiot. It's kind of why I think I gave up on Zach, because I knew giving up on Zach would give him this opportunity. He's going to be great. It's because I gave up on him, because that's been like kind of the whole key to my existence.
Okay, I'm going to give my prediction, then I'm going to go.
Okay. Prediction, and then we're going to go. We're both going to go.
Okay, I gotta make some salmon for the wife and for me. Okay, so the way I'm seeing it is this: Zach is going to come out. I've always hoped for a Wilson to Wilson touchdown. I really wanted to see that, a big one. But I'm going to say it would be more meaningful to have a Wilson to Moore touchdown. And it'd be very meaningful if it were the first drive, because we haven't seen him score on a first drive. So I want to see that. I want to see the Jets score 23. And I want to see the Lions held to 20. That's my threshold, baby. 2320 Jets.
Wow. Okay. Driving to the Top Productions, in case anybody doesn't know it, look for Driving to the Top Productions on Twitter, or you can go to their page here on YouTube. They do marketing and promotions for different channels and stuff. Awesome editing, awesome work. Totally love this guy. He's awesome. Good to see him here. So, and I always appreciate the promotion and the plugs he gave me. Just to be like, I guess I was kind of like a pilot. He did it for me for free, and he made a really cool like promotional little piece for me. It was really nice. So
Thank you.
I appreciate that. So here's a weird thing. It drives me crazy. So when a member does, I have a heavy snacker. Twisted's a heavy snacker. He gets a free like super chat automatically. And for some reason, the StreamYard technology doesn't let me see that and highlight it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut and paste it, and I'm going to talk about it. And you guys could see it in the chat. This is because he was been a member for 1 month. Like he earned this free super chat thing. So I'm going to put it in the chat and then highlight it. So let me do this. Okay. And then I know you have to go, Lee, so you can go in
here for this.
But okay, so this is from Twisted. Sorry about the negativity tonight. Just seen our best chance at playoffs with Mike White, hoping for the best. Go Jets. No need to apologize.
Yeah.
I can't tell people you have to be positive. Especially me. Lee knows more than anyone. There's no bigger, like Lee knows more than anyone that Jeremy Cravat telling everyone they have to stay positive is absolutely the most ironic thing in America.
Yeah. Look, Twisted, I thought it was going to be a tough game when we had Mike White in there. I'm really nervous. I'm just being honest. As I said, I put my NFL hat on instead of my Jets hat. I'm nervous about the game. What keeps me going on this one is we have a great defense. Hopefully Q will play, but I mean, we have a great defense. Zach has showed that he can, when he gets out of his head, be a quarterback. And I'm hoping for that, man. I'm hoping that's what we see. 23-20.
Just to go for the result of the poll that I put up. Did your opinion change? And this had to do with when Zach was named starter. Yes, Jets will win because of Zach. 28% said that. 28% of you think that we will win because of Zach, and you thought we were going to lose. 23% of you think the opposite, that we're going to lose because of Zach. Even you thought we were going to win, but now you think we're going to lose because of Zach. And then 5% of you think that we were going to lose either way and it didn't matter, which makes total sense because everybody has to be so Zach or so Mike White. It makes total sense to me that, well, none of us thought we were going to, because anybody who likes Mike White or Zach, one over the other, is going to insist that their quarterback would win. And then finally, 43% of you, the winner, says they win either way. And that restores my faith.
Yeah.
That restores my faith.
Yes.
So let me end this poll. I don't know how to show it. There's so many things I don't know how to do. It's ridiculous. This is what happens when you teach yourself how to use technology and you never take lessons. You never look it up. You find out there's a lot of features that other people you see using that I don't have that feature.
I'm even worse, Jeremy, because I learned from you.
I know. It gets watered down each time. Yeah. Eventually you get to some guy who just doesn't even know how to highlight the chats.
Hey, this is something I just want to highlight real quick.
Okay.
And I believe this, Minnesota Jets fan. I mean, he said he's doubled down on we're gonna see the Bills again. We're gonna make the playoffs. And I think he is sending every Jet a message that he and they are all in, and they're going to play with extreme violence on Sunday. That's a positive violence, by the way. What's that mean?
That's just me going,
Okay, my stomach is rumbling now.
I'm seeing double chaos, baby. That's what you're seeing. Double chaos. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching our show. Appreciate it. You heard it. Keep your eyes open. We might be doing the game tomorrow night. It's possible. It's not likely or not super unlikely or super likely. It's possible that we might be on tomorrow doing the Bills Miami watch party. Come hang out if you want, but keep your eyes out. See if we're doing it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you, Lee. A lot of fun doing the show with you. It was a great time, and I'm glad and hope everybody appreciated it. And we're gonna go now to
One last thing.
We're gonna end it right here like this. One last thing. Say it before I hit this button, because when I hit this button, it's over.
Okay. Go Jets.
Go. We are live. We got Harry W. We got Richie from Jets Media, Matt O'Leary, Iowa Jets fan, who in the house. We got Dom C in the house. We got Steve, live CEO of the Jet Lounge. So I knew I'd get rich on my channel. See what's going on. Yeah, there we go. Woo.
Let's go. Jets by 1 million today.
Yeah.